Hello, everybody. It's John Kranz hosting Concert World Expo, July 11th through the 19th. Thank you, first of all, so much for signing up and registering for the event. I really appreciate it. Also, a special welcome and shout out to our newcomers. We have about 30 newcomers coming to Expo for the first time. And for some of you, you mentioned it's also your first game convention. Of course, we're all here to welcome you, as well as our fellow attendees and our regular repeat attendees. Always excited to meet newcomers, first-time attendees. So thank you so much for that. So this recording is going to cover our sign-up game process, to share a little bit behind that, and specifically how to reach out to other gamers and how to contact them to do some pre-event coordination. So the whole idea here is, and I'm going to actually navigate now to start explaining this. I'm going to go and click on our signups sheet area. So here we are on our signups page. And again, we list all the attendees who have signed up. As of May 2nd, we have 216 registered attendees, and you can see them all here. But notice we don't share any confidential, we don't share email addresses because we don't want people to get spammed like previous years. So that's why you received the email. That gives you all the email addresses for those that gave me permission to release those for you. And what I want to talk about now is really about the sign-up sheet, the game sign-up sheet right here itself. And this is up to date as of this recording, which is May 2nd. So here we have all the game signups. And what I want to do here, just for purposes of this recording, and then make it a little easier, is I'm going to actually look at a different view of this sign-up sheet. And let me explain what I mean by that. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the web page. And here in this bottom area, what I'm going to do here, where it says problems viewing the above sheet, please click here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click here. And that launches a separate tab or separate window directly into Google Sheets with my sign-up information. And this is just easier to navigate. It's easier to view. And of course, it's always synced and current with the website. So it's the same information. I just feel like it's easier to work with. So for example, if I click in this top area here, I see Monster Games tab is at the top, the Open Gaming tab's at the top, and some of our featured game sessions. So what I want to do with you now is I want to talk about how to go about contacting others. And let me start with our open gaming session. So under open gaming, the way we track signups is I simply add the attendee's name for the games they're signing up for. And as we have more than one person, I group them in that little green box. So this will help call out for you when there's more than one person signed up for a particular game title. If you want to learn more about a game anywhere, I have the link to Board Game Geek, so you can go ahead and get more information about that game, because there's so many games listed here. You might be interested to learn more about, what's that game about? So again, here we're listing all the people, but notice people listed here. It's not like their first choice, second choice, third choice. I'm not getting into that level of detail. It's really sort of a free-for-all to let you know, hey, for open games, pickup gaming, here's the people that are interested in these games, which I think will be really helpful information for you. Now, I really want to spend most of my time talking about the monster games, because that's where a lot of the event coordination happens as well. So a monster game is typically, although there's exceptions, typically it's a game that has 2 maps or more, or it takes a very long time to play. Typically, it's going to require 2 people or more to play. So again, that's really what a monster game selection is. And we do use that first choice, second choice, third choice parameter, as you see here. So in this area here, again, we do split it up by, and after the first choice, I have a dark borderline, which indicates we're really focusing on the first choice. Why? Because we have reserved table space. For those games that make the cut, meaning they have 2 or more people, I'm going to put a blue highlight on that first choice for that game, which indicates they get reserved table space at the expo. After that line, the second, third choice or alternatives, those are just additional people interested in that game, but it doesn't impact whether they get reserved table space. If a game gets reserved table space at the beginning of the expo, it's going to have that blue highlight under the first choice column. And you can see we have quite a few games. Quite a few games already have that blue highlight, which means, what that means is they're going to have a reserved table space in the ballroom at the beginning of the expo. And since we start Friday night on the 11th, we really can't hold any monster games space until like Sunday, like almost 2 days later, because that's just too much. That's too much time to hold that type of space. Monster games are meant to be played right away, in other words. So typically people are going to be starting to set up either Friday night or Saturday in the morning or afternoon at the latest. just to give you some background on that. But again, let's now look at an example. So what I want to do here is I want to look at A Most Fearful Sacrifice by Flying Pig Games. We got Mike Denson and Rick Reinisch have signed up as their first choice for that game. So that means they got the blue highlight. They got 2 people for that monster game. They're going to have reserved table space. But also notice for the second, third choice, and alternative selections, there's another 7 people that might be interested in joining that game of Most Fearful Sacrifice with Mike and Rick. So that's the purpose of the email roster. So now that you have the email roster, what should happen is Mike and Rick should definitely be interested to reach out to these other individuals, look up their email addresses, and reach out to them to find out if they're going to be interested in joining their table at the beginning of Expo to play that monster game. And same goes for the other people. So let's say I'm David Copland, and it's my third choice, and maybe my first or second choice didn't make the cut, just as an example. So David could reach out to Mike and Rick to say, oh, maybe I'm going to move my third choice up to my first choice. So again, you just jockey for position based on who you collaborate with, who you reach out to by email. You sort of figure out which monster games maybe you're going to gravitate to. And keep in mind, a monster game is a big commitment you're making up front. You're going to start playing that game first. It's probably going to last several days, typically at least 3 to 4 days minimum. So you want to make sure you're really committing to that monster game if you're putting it under your first choice with reserved table space. You really want to make sure you do that. So what's going to happen over time is those that have it as a second or third choice or alternative selection, they might decide they've got their first choice already worked out. So feel free to reach out to me. If you feel like your first choice is nailed down and you really don't want to show your other choices anymore, just reach out to me and say, hey, John, I'm pretty much set for Expo. These 2 or 3 other games that I said I was interested in, you could actually drop me from those because I know I'm not going to play them during Expo. And again, it's your option. You don't have to do that. But I'm just thinking for those that are really into one big game and maybe 1 or 2 small pickup games after the fact, you might want to decide to shorten your game choices or try to focus in on the ones you're really looking to play. For now, it's early. We're 60 days out, so it's good that you've put out several games there so everybody has a chance to see what they're interested in. Another example I want to give here, which I think is worth mentioning, is I'm going to scroll down to Operational Combat Series. So let me find that. So right here, Operational Combat Series highlighted. So what we have here is we have about 6 or 7 other OCS titles that have been selected or could be selected already. At least one person has. But notice here under the Operational Combat Series, we actually have, we have 5 people have it as a second choice, 2 people have it as a third choice, 1 person has it as an alternative. So what's probably going to happen here is these individuals should start reaching out to each other, and they might decide to pick a specific OCS game title. So instead of, right now you're non-committal, you like the series and you want others to know that, but at a certain point, you're going to want to set up a certain game and let me know. And you want to get it over to the reserved table space area, which is that first pick column. So you want to work as a group, as a team, to figure out which game you're going to pick and try to get it highlighted in blue for that reserved table space. So here's an example. So I'll give you an example. So here's Art Brochet. So what I'd like to find out is Art Brochet only has it as his second choice. I wonder what his first choice is. So I'm going to type Brochet here and do a search. And notice here, I found it. I found out his first choice is right here. It's a Tactical Combat Series by the gamers Leiros. It's very great game, by the way. So Art has it as his first choice, and unfortunately, nobody else has decided to sign up alongside him yet. He might decide to email others that pick tactical games, or maybe OCS people like the gamers as well. Maybe he can reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to switch from OCS and join me for TCS Leiros by chance? But it's also, I'm mentioning this for the OCS player. So Art had this listed as his first choice Leiros, but his second choice, again, was Operational Combat Series. So what I would do as a player, let's say I'm interested in Operational Combat System, I would do this type of search. I would look for people, let's say, for example, Bruce Wallen. Bruce Wallen right here has signed up for OCS Smolensk Barbarossa Derailed, that game title. But notice he's by himself and nobody else has joined him for his first pick. So what Bruce could do is he can go through, he can look at all these other names here, and he could maybe take a peek and do a search to see Well, did they find their first choice? Because this is only their second choice under OCS. What was their first choice? He could just do a quick name search and see if they found a good first choice for themselves. And if they didn't, he could easily, if I was Bruce, I would go out and maybe I wouldn't even bother looking what their first choice was. Why go to all that effort? I just want to say hello. So I would probably, if I was Bruce, I would reach out to everybody under OCS and say, hey, would you be interested in playing Smollett Barbarossa Derailed with me? Would love to play it at Expo. I see you're interested in OCS. And that would give him, just here, he would give him 10 people, it would give him 8 people to email to find out about a possible matchup. And that would help get his Smolensk Barbarossa Derailed game into the blue column by having another person join him. So again, this is just an example. Again, this is just an example of how to read the Monster Game signups. Don't worry, if you don't get a blue highlight, don't worry. It doesn't mean you can't play the game. All that means is you won't have reserved table space to start. But there is ample table space throughout the expo going on. It's just it's a nice convenience to have the table already waiting for you when you arrive at Expo, if you do make the cut and get that blue highlight. So I hope this explanation has been helpful. If anybody's nervous about, gosh, I'm not sure I'm going to get that game to play, keep in mind we have all these featured game sessions going on, and some are drop-in game sessions. I'll also make announcements, or you can write something on our whiteboard in the main ballroom. If you're looking to play a game on a certain day, we make announcements. So we're trying to network people as best we can. We'll also have our Discord app available, which you can have on your smartphone. So with your mobile device, you can go to us on Discord, Console World Expo, and people start posting as well. Hey, I'm looking to play this game. Would you like to join our table? So on and so forth. So there's a lot of options. But right now that you have this email roster, I would say go ahead and look at the sign-up sheet, look through all those games, and decide who you might want to reach out to do some pre-event collaboration. I think that will really help a lot. Again, I hope this was helpful. I want to thank you again for signing up. As a reminder, I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions, on the top of our webpage, we have our contact form, which I'm just clicking on here now. So this is what you use to change your game signups at any time. Just go to contact us. Let me know what your game changes are, what your game selection changes are, and I'll make those changes for you. Or if you just have questions about Expo, how things work, any question at all, just use this contact us form, and I'll be able to get back to you. So I want to thank you again for signing up for Console World Expo. Our doors will open on Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. We're really excited to be returning to Tempe Mission Palms for our 24th time. Would have been our 25th if it wasn't for the COVID year that we had, obviously. So this is, believe it or not, our 24th time over 25 years at the Tempe Mission Palms. We're really excited about the venue, and we're really excited to welcome you to the event. So if you have any questions about the video or how to go through contacting people, yeah, let me know. Use the contact form. Let me know. In the meantime, thanks again so much for signing up for Expo, and I look forward to seeing you all in July. Bye, everybody.